Hey everybody, so today I wanted to do a chit chat with you guys, and hopefully the air isn't too loud for you, but if I don't have the air on, I might possibly suffocate and die in here. So I just got out of the doctor's and out of the library, and I thought I would take a little bit more time stalling to go home, but I also wanted to update you guys because I had mentioned stuff about my general health in a video or two and talking about getting some different tests done and stuff, and I just kind of wanted to update you guys because it's been a few weeks and I have some answers and whatever. But first I thought I would tell you guys about the girls. I know that I told you that Sophie's officially enrolled in preschool. Well, Mark and I have our first parent orientation tomorrow night. This weekend we have the cleaning, and then next weekend I have a fundraiser, and next month we have another fundraiser. So we've got a lot of stuff to do. School will be starting shortly. I know she's super excited, and she's also been doing gymnastics. The first lesson, I'm not gonna lie to you, was really rough, but the second one went really well. So I'm not sure if this is something she's gonna keep doing. They do offer like a monthly class, but again, we're just not sure if like she wants to continue to do it. We're obviously just gonna let that be up to her. And then with Remi, she's been good. A little bit of an attitude lately, and she's going through that phase again where like she kind of like where she was at 1.5 years, where she wanted to say certain things that she doesn't know how to say. We don't understand her, so then she gets upset, and we're kind of going through that again because she wants to start saying more stuff, and again we just can't understand her, so then she gets upset and everybody ends up frustrated. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but we're trying to work with her because it was frustrating for Sophie too. I mean, I think it's frustrating to every toddler to not be understood when they very clearly in their mind know what they want. And aside from that, nothing really is going on with her. I mean, like, she's not doing the gymnastics or anything, so she's kind of had to learn that Sophie gets to do some fun things sometimes, and it's not always about the both of them being able to do the same thing, which has been a learning experience for her because for the most part we try to keep things even, but you know, there's only so much you can do that with, and I think it is healthy for them to understand that sometimes it's about one kid and not about the other, and vice versa, you know, like with birthdays. So anyways, I am looking forward to getting some alone time with Remi because it just kind of dawned on me that Sophie and I had 1.5 years alone together before we had Remi, but Remi's never had alone time with me, like, you know, like a good portion each day just alone, because obviously Sophie's always with us. And I thought that was like something I'd never thought about before, about how like the first child is kind of privileged in that way because they got alone time however many days, weeks, months, years, whatever, with their parents, but then the children who come afterwards just only know being around their siblings. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to like working with her one-on-one. It's difficult to try and teach things to Remi, like whether it's letters, numbers, colors, because Sophie always wants to be involved, which I love, but Sophie wants to answer for her, and that's also been kind of a problem. We've been trying to get Sophie to not talk for her sister, and you know, Remi can do a just fine job of communicating for herself, but sometimes Sophie's just so eager she kind of jumps the gun. So it's kind of a challenge to try to sit down and work with Remi on those things because she doesn't really get a chance to try before Sophie's like, ah, no, I got it. But I think all around, all of us are gonna be pretty excited about preschool, and I'm just excited for what it means for our family and stuff, and we are just trying to enjoy the last bit of summer. Hopefully, I hope August is the last month that feels like this. I'm dying. I don't know how people live in hotter areas, but it's currently like 76 with 80% humidity outside, and I'm dying. So I don't know how other people do it. I'm ready. You will never hear me complain about cold weather because I love it. I would rather it be snowing, ice cold negatives outside right now than it being almost 80 degrees with 80% humidity. I'll complain all summer long, but you won't hear me complain come winter because I love that kind of weather. I'd much, much, much rather be cold than hot. But regardless, that's everything that's pretty much going on with the girls. And then the big update that I wanted to give you guys was more about myself and about my general health, because I have mentioned it. And I always feel so strange talking to a camera when I'm out in public, because I'm sure other people have to be like, what is she doing? But yeah, so to give you a little bit of a background, for Sophie's preschool to volunteer, I had to go to a primary care physician and get them to sign off basically that you're physically fit, physically able to, you know, be around children and stuff. So I had to do that, and that meant finding a primary care physician. I haven't had one in almost like 7 years, I think. 6 years, something like that. I can't remember. It's been a really long time, obviously. And that leads me to the backstory that I need to give you guys. So as long as I can remember, I've always had pain very much in the lower half of my body. And I'm talking even at like 7, 8, 9 years old, I would complain about it. It'd be so bad in the morning I wouldn't want to go to school, you know, stuff like that. But doctors have, for the longest time, pretty much entirely told me that it's something that I was going to grow out of. It was puberty. I was growing. They're growing pains. It's not a big deal. You'll be fine. And when I was about, you know, 10, 11, 12, that's when they told me, okay, well, it's puberty, so you're growing. This is to be expected. It's going to be fine in a few years. Well, then when I was around 14, 15, I started to also have some digestive issues. And we thought it was like a food sensitivity, so I stayed away from that food, which was tomatoes. And I stopped vomiting, but I was also still having other GI issues. I just wasn't telling my parents about it because I thought they were normal, but it very much was not. And they were also telling me that, you know, it's still normal for you to have growing pains and for you to be uncomfortable. And then when I got to be out on my own, when I was like 17, 18, 19, I went back to the doctor because the pain had gotten a lot worse. I mean, it progressively over the years has always somewhat, in some way, shape, or form, gotten worse, whether that be like a new part of my body hurt, or like the pain intensified, or it was like a different type of pain, like whatever. And I went back to the doctor because it was really bad. Mark was having to help me, you know, get up from like squatting on the floor, sitting on the floor. He would have to help me get out of bed sometimes. I mean, like, it was just constant all the time, and I felt miserable. Like, it was affecting my day-to-day life. And I went to 3 different doctors. The first 2 just told me that it was no big deal. They thought that basically, even if I was in pain, the majority of how I felt was like in my head. And I just didn't understand that mentality, but I figured I'd give it like one more shot. I'd go to one more doctor because I had one more recommendation from somebody. And I went to them. He didn't think that I had anything, that it could possibly be arthritis, but I was too young to have arthritis. And he started talking about like wanting pain medication, and I was like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to get answers so I can help myself feel better, to know what I have so I can hopefully do whatever I need to in my life to help ease that, you know. And he gave me natural or holistic or homeopathic, whatever you want to call it, remedies for arthritis. And it just blew my mind walking out of there that he did not want to run any tests. They didn't, none of them did a physical exam even. And it just blew my mind that he was so sure, obviously, that it wasn't arthritis, that he wouldn't do any tests or anything. But at the same time, that's what his recommendations were when it came to like ways to help myself at home. He gave me ways to help myself as if I had arthritis. And I was like, this makes no sense. But when you've spent years listening to people saying it's not that bad, you'll grow out of it, it's not a big deal, it's growing pains, it's, you know, not as bad as you're saying it is, it was just really frustrating. And I was also really frustrated because I felt like the doctors always wanted a certain answer from me and I couldn't give it to them. They would always ask me about like, oh, where's your pain located? And I'm like, well, I don't know, like the entire bottom half of my body hurts. And they're like, that's not a pinpoint location of pain. You have to be more specific. And it's like, I don't know, dude, like the bottom half of my body hurts. I don't know what to tell you. It feels like I got ran over by a truck. And they would always ask me to pinpoint. So then I said, I don't know, like maybe my hips, my knees, and my ankles. Like, I don't know. Like, those are the only points on the lower half of your body. Like, that is like a joint or something. And I didn't know if like muscle pain, I don't know. Like, I didn't know any of this. But it's also not my job to know any of it. It's their job because they're medical professionals. And so they're like, okay, so it's joint pain. And I was like, well, I don't think joint pain would like feel the way... Literally the bottom half of my body had always been in pain. So it wasn't just my knees, my hips, it was everything in between. And as I got older, and also why I went back to the doctor is because it started spreading and I felt like it was also like my lower back and sometimes like my neck and my shoulder area, and it just, it felt worse. It felt like I had pain that was spreading, and they never wanted to hear that. They always wanted to hear like a precise location of like, where was this pain coming from? And it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, obviously if my knee hurt, I'd come in and I'd tell you that my knee hurts, but it's like the entire leg hurts. Both of them. My back hurts, both my shoulders. Like, it's not just a pinpoint origin that I can point to and say this is it. And I just felt really frustrated with all that. And I don't know, like, I don't think I believed it was all in my head, but I just felt like I'm obviously going to have to deal with it because nobody's taking me seriously. And I just kind of resigned myself to that fact. And it wasn't until I went to this doctor to get, you know, whatever for Sophie's school done that I was like, I guess I'll say something to her. Let's try it. So, through multiple tests, multiple physical examinations, and a bunch of stuff later, basically she diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, which I was shocked. Now I know fibromyalgia and arthritis are related, but you know, it was like I had been told one thing and she thought it was something different. That was shocking to me because I took what the last doctor said, that like, oh, you know, you might have arthritis but you're too young. I took that as, well, I probably have arthritis. Like, if he had an inkling and I'm in this much pain, so that's what I always referred to it as. But I don't have arthritis, and we proved that. And it was just a lot of mixed emotions. Like, you're relieved to finally have an answer, but at the same time, fibromyalgia is a chronic illness that people have to live with for their entire life. There's no cure for it. It's painful, as is most chronic illnesses. And it's just like, I don't know how else to describe it other than it was very, you know, like, there's just a lot of different emotions that go on with it. Like, I was so relieved that someone finally took me seriously enough to listen to me and to just do tests. Like, it's not like I wanted a specific answer. I just wanted someone to tell me that I wasn't nuts, that it wasn't in my head, that I wasn't going to grow out of it. And by the way, I've been 5'5" for like the better part of 10 years now. So to the people who told me at 7'18" that I was still growing, I beg to differ, because I've been 5'5" for a really long time. But it was really relieving. And I know that no one wants to get diagnosed with like a chronic illness, especially one that involves a ton of pain. But at the same time, I am relieved to have an answer, and that way I know what to do to put my best foot forward for myself. And I'm actually starting physical therapy, which I'm very much looking forward to. Just a lot of different things that she's recommended to me, and I just can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate it. Like, not only just because she took me seriously and she wanted to listen, but, you know, I don't think that she went above and beyond or anything. I think she was just genuinely concerned for a patient who came in and wanted to figure out what the problem was. And I feel like that's what doctors should be about, not just send you off on your way and just figuring that you're making things up, especially when you've been to see so many doctors about it. And with the digestive issues, we've ran a lot of tests. Thankfully, I am not allergic to gluten, but she did tell me that I do have an IBS factor with the fibromyalgia, and right now it seems to be a little bit better, but we're just waiting to see how this diet change goes and seeing if that helps anything. If not, we are also going to look into food allergy testing and something about a scope which I'm sure is going to be through my GI tract, which is just great. I hate the thought of that because those freak me out, but I'm trying not to put myself there yet. Hopefully my diet helps a good bit. I have been feeling better as far as like digestive goes ever since starting this new way of life. I hate to even call it a diet. I'm just trying to make it like a lifestyle change. I told you guys about this, that I wanted to do this, I think, maybe, I don't know. But I've just decided to clean up how I was eating, and I've lost 4 pounds already within a short amount of time, which I was very surprised at because I knew that I felt better, but honestly it felt like, you know, I mean, 4 pounds, it's not really going to make a difference of like how my jeans fit or anything like that, but I don't know, I kind of had doubts like, I don't really seem like I look any different or anything, but at the same time, I am losing weight, I am feeling better, so I think the diet change definitely has a lot to do with that, and also just trying to be more active, trying to do things to help the fibromyalgia, because like I said, there are good days and there are bad days with it. And as of recently, the past week, it's been kind of bad. There's been a lot of pain, a lot of not getting sleep. So I've been trying to do my best, and it does make me feel better during the day. Nighttime is the worst for me. It really is. I did want to share that with you guys. I was kind of hesitant on whether or not I did want to share it, but I think with everything that I've been through as far as like not being taken seriously, I just wanted to encourage anybody out there who, you know, might not be taken seriously by their own doctors, to encourage you to get a second, third, fourth opinion, because I don't even know what her opinion would have been at this point with how many doctors I've seen. But I'm just super, super thankful for her, because I would just, it really makes me bummed out to think that maybe I would have gone my whole life without really having a true answer for something that I live with every day, just because some doctors made me feel like that should be my normal, honestly. But that's about everything that's going on with me personally wise. Obviously still trying to get pregnant and everything around these things, and I'm trying to think if there's been anything else. Mark and I are going to celebrate our 7-year anniversary next week, which I'm very much looking forward to. Some years we go out and do things, some years we do presents, some years we don't, some years we stay in. It just really depends on the year, what we want to do, yada yada yada. And this year we've chosen to stay in. He's going to make steak and potatoes, which is the first dinner. That's the first date we ever had, and he made me steak and potatoes. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm not a big red meat eater, just because I personally don't like the taste of it, except for my husband's steaks, because he makes a killer one. But we are having those and just having like a night in after the kids go to sleep, and I'm just really, I don't know, like, it's not gonna be a specific, we're not doing anything super special, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. Our anniversary is just always a really special time to us. I guess I'll be a little bit more specific about the diet. As far as the diet goes, I'm trying to loosely keep in mind of like what I was doing for my gestational diabetes when I had that when I was pregnant with Remi, because I know that other people swear by other diets and cutting things out, avoiding certain foods, stuff like that, but that just, for me, it's not gonna work. And I've had experience with eating this way before when I was pregnant with Remi, and I didn't have any choice but to do this diet. You know, like, it was what was best for Remi and I to stay healthy, so I had to do it. And I think because, you know, I was carrying her, I was pregnant with my child, it definitely gives you that push of like, I need to do it, like, it's not negotiable. So I saw that I can have foods that I like, I can have things, you know, in moderation, and, you know, not be deprived or anything, not feel like I'm going to go on like a binge because I haven't had something. And I was just fine. And I really felt like it was a good lifestyle for me to have. And I stick by that because I've been doing this for now almost 2 weeks and I don't feel deprived. You know, I feel fine. I feel good. I feel like I'm eating enough. I'm starving or ready to pass out or anything. And like, it's just like, I'm still eating the things that I love. I'm just being smarter about it. And it's difficult. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I love eating 12-grain bread instead of eating a bowl of cereal in the morning, because I do not. You know, I don't love, you know, kale and spinach all of a sudden and stopped thinking it tastes like dirt, because it does. You know, like, I'm not the kind of person who picks carrots over Cheetos. But if I want to change things, I got to start picking the carrots over Cheetos more of the time. So, you know, especially because I had gestational diabetes during the holidays with Remi. I don't know if anybody will remember, but I got diagnosed, like, I think right before Thanksgiving, I believe. So I had to deal with Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Easter, all of those holidays that are really big in my family, especially with the junk food. And I saw that I could still eat a cookie at a Christmas party. I could still have my grandpa's pumpkin gooey cake and, you know, stuff like that. It was just all about portion, being smart and watching what your intake is and stuff like that. And it's just, I'm glad that I finally have done it and stuck to it, because I feel good, and I'm hoping that I continue to feel better. And like I said, we're gonna revisit things if I don't start feeling a ton better. I don't know. I'll be curious to see if just cleaning up my diet, losing weight, things like that don't just naturally help me feel better, even though I've had these GI issues even when I was in really good shape. Like, when I was a teenager, I was, you know, active. I felt like I ate fairly decent and stuff like that. I was really healthy back then. So, not to say it's going to solve all my problems, but I'm wondering if it won't help, because over the past, I'd say about year and a half, it's progressively gotten worse. So I'll be interested in that, and hopefully the different stuff I'm doing at home, the physical therapy, stuff like that, it'll help the fibromyalgia, and hopefully I can go back to sleeping like a normal person. I so miss it. Oh, and Remi went and saw the dermatologist, and they gave us a prescription non-steroid for her eczema, and it has been amazing. Amazing. I love it. I wish I could use it more places, because, you know, you can't put it around the eyes, the mouth, and right now she's going through like a biting phase of her lip, and her skin hates that. Like, it's so bad. It's bad. And when she does get an eczema flare, it tends to be on her eyelids along with other places, but, you know, you can't put it there. I wish I could, man, because that stuff is amazing. It's done so much for her skin. I'm so happy we went. I was kind of hesitant, but our pediatrician just recommended I go back, because if you remember, I went to the pediatrician, we went to the allergist, we've seen the dermatologist before, but, you know, the pediatrician was like, I think you should go back, tell them what happened at the allergist, and just see what they say. So we did, and I'm so glad, because I'm so glad we got this prescription. We're able to use it for her. It seems to be helping her skin so much. Oh, so happy. You know, because it was getting to the point where she was in pain sometimes, and you don't want your kid to be in pain. So a guy has chose to sit on the trunk of his car right in front of my car. So for the sake of not looking like a total freak in public, I'm gonna wrap this up. But it has been a nice change of pace, especially with everything we've been through with trying to conceive this past year, to get some answers, you know, and be able to fix things that might not feel the best or might be, you know, wrong or causing you pain. It's just like nice to have a different speed and, you know, just actually be able to do stuff about the things that are going on in our lives. Whereas, like, you know, with miscarriage and trying to conceive, there's not a lot of things that you can do, and sometimes you're just kind of like at the mercy of it. So it's been nice, and we're just trying to enjoy the rest of our summer. But I thought I would update you guys because it's been a while since I said that I was gonna have those tests done, and we're at like a kind of standstill moment with it all. So I thought that I would let you guys know how I'm doing, how the girls are doing. Mark's doing good. I guess I never update about him, but you know, no new developments with him. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, thanks for watching.